A web application runs programs on the web server. For example, the browser sends a request to the server in an HTML form. The server responds back to the request by sending a HTML form to the browser in an HTTP string. After that, the browser sends another request with the data from an HTML form to the server. The server passes the request and responds to that request with data to the browser. In the earlier application, in the earlier internet application, we have we have static web contents only written using HTML pages, that is hypertext markup language. Soon after, dynamic web contents were made possible through server-side technology, that is nothing but a CGI technology, Common Gateway Interface. CGI, it is a script or program that runs on the web server. CGI is a part of the web server that communicate with other programs running on the server. With CGI, the web server can call up a program while using user-specific data to the program. The program then processes the data and sends back the response to the server browser. We'll start discussing about this HTTP. Why do we need HTTP? Because we need a protocol to communicate from the client to the browser. So HTTP is a internet protocol. It is similar to other internet protocols like SMTP, FTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and File Transfer Protocol. HTTP is a protocol to transfer of data from the server to the client. Why do HTTP is very necessary to develop to communicate from the client to the browser. That's why we used to call it as a stateless protocol. Stateless protocol is nothing but whenever a request sending to the server, then it will opens the connection. To retrieve one file and then disconnects. That's why we used to call HTTP is a stateless protocol. And also, there is no need for the server to hold the connection open for a longer, and also no need to manage the connection state. That's why HTTP is very necessary protocol to transfer the data from the server to the browser. We'll start discussing about the CGI. What is CGI? In the CGI, what will happen? The corresponding URL determines which CGI program is going to execute. The CGI program might be a script or an executable file. CGI program sends the CGI request to the web server, process the data and generates the response to the CGI program. Generates a response to the CGI program. That the CGI response is sent back to the web server and sent back to the web server, which wraps the response of the HTTP, response. That HTTP is sent back to the browser. This way, how the dynamic web contents is achieved by using CGI program. Whenever we are dealing with CGI program, what will happen in the server side? We are actually at the runtime, the CGI program is launched by separate OS shell, separate OS CGI shell. This CGI shell includes an OS environment to process the code of the CGI program, which resides only the server's file system. When this figure shows the running a single instance of the CGI program. Whenever we have multiple instances of CGI programs running in the same web server, that it will create a separate OS shell for that. For that processor load becomes more. That's why CGI program is available to use to develop any web application, that is server-side technology. In this server-side technology, Perl become the most popular language to write CGI programs. Every request, each and every request is needs to be loaded and started for each request. So CGI program becomes more complex when you are dealing with more number of requests. For example, we have a number of users visiting the popular website. That time CGI had failed to deliver the scalable internet applications. That's why this disadvantages of CGI program led to the development of a new server-side technology program, that is nothing but the servlets. We are discussing about servlets now. This figure shows the execution of Java servlets. Usually servlets developed by Sun Microsystems, which are similar to the same CGI programs. As with the CGI scripts, we can write servlets. To process the request, and sends back the response to the browser. What happens in the servlet is whenever a request is sending to the web server, the web container acts as an OS process. Instead of CGI shell acts as a OS process in the CGI program, but in the servlet, web container acts as a CGI, that is OS process, to get the request from the browser and sends acts as a thread and sends and performs the servlet instance and develops the servlet instance. This kind of process will take care in the servlets. Instead of creating an instance of the CGI shell or OS shell, it will runs as a thread and creates the servlet here. That's why the servlet runs as a thread instead of running in a OS shell. That's why the processor load becomes very less when compared to the CGI programs. So this figure shows the run multiple instances. For each request, it will create separate thread here. After that, it will goes to the servlet container and response back to the browser. This figure shows the web server architecture with Java servlet. Java servlets run with the J2EE container. That is nothing but we had already said web container. Web container or servlet engine. Web container is a Java virtual machine tool interface that supplies an implementation of servlet API, Java servlet API. This figure shows how the user workstation, for example, nothing but a browser that will send a HTTP request. Using HTTP request to the web server. In the web server, web container acts as a OS process and creates a servlet for an HTML form and pull the data which are for the authentication or authorization purpose. Pull the data from the database. We are using SQL. I am very familiar with SQL database. From that, it will retrieve the file, authenticated data, and sends back the HTML response to the browser. This way, the servlet executes instead of on the separate OS shell. It will execute as a thread. After we have servlet lifecycle. In the servlet lifecycle, mainly we have three methods. First one is the init methods. Second one is the service method. Third one is the destroy method. In the init method, what will happen in the init method? Whenever the init method is called by the web container, whenever the class has been instantiated. This init method is used in the initialization purpose. This is also very important to pass any struct configurable object in the configuration file to store any object here in the init method. After that, we have the service method. Service method includes the business logic, any processing of data, getting the request from the data and response back to the data to the browser. This kind of takes place. This kind of work will take place by service method. In the service method, this method is called by the web container after the init method. Servlets typically run on multi-threaded web container. service run on the multi-threaded web kernel that must handle multiple requests concurrently. After that, lastly we have a destroy method. In the destroy method, this method is called before removing a servlet instance. Before removing a servlet instance from the service, whenever a servlet container, that is web container, is shut down or it needs some memory, that method will be called by the servlet container. This figure shows which are the servlet APIs which are very necessary to develop any web application using servlet. The main two packages are there. One is javax.servlet, another one is javax.servlet.http, because HTTP is a protocol to transfer data from the server to the browser. So this is very necessary to import these two packages while designing any servlet web application. These are the interfaces: servlet config, servlet context, these servlet request, servlet response. These type of APIs are very necessary for building any web application using servlets. And we have the classes like generic servlet, servlet input, servlet output stream in the javax.servlet. And also we have another package. This package is also very necessary to develop any web application. That is HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response is also very necessary, because request and response is also depends mainly on the client and the browser, client and the server. And also we have cookies. These are very rare. We are using in the websites. For future purpose, we are using this type of classes like cookies, HTTP servlets, and utils. The main thing here, the difference between these HTTP servlets and generic servlet is protocol independent. Without any HTTP protocols, we can communicate between the client and the browser. And what are the steps? What are the steps for running any Java servlet program? Before we have a tool like a development tool, that is Eclipse, that is very familiar and popular tool, development tool for designing any Java program or Java web application. And after installation of Eclipse and server we are using, I am very familiar with Apache Tomcat server. That after installing and configured everything in the J2EE container, that is nothing but Eclipse, that is web development environment. First we need to create a directory structure so that we can add directory structure of the application, so that we can add number of HTML pages, controller, servlets, and even some Java codes also. We have also this web application development deployment descriptor, web.xml. First we need to create a directory structure. In that we can add as many as classes, HTML pages in the directory structure of the application. Second one is the writing servlet code. In the servlet code, what happens is we are writing the HTTP request, HTTP response, what we are importing from this packages. After writing this servlet source code, we have to compile this servlet code. After compilation, we need to create a deployment descriptor. This is very necessary to deploy any type of web application. So web.xml file, this is a XML configuration file. This configuration file settings the specifics which are necessary for the development of web application. Lastly, after deploying on the web server, we need to deploy on the web server. That is, we are using server, that is Apache Tomcat. We are using here, that is .where. And lastly, we can call a servlet from the web browser, and we can display it in the web server using servlets. Thank you.